Hello, hello.
Hello,
Wow.
gamers.
It's actually the layout and everything's actually working without any problems this time. How wonderful. Um, Welcome to Carolina Clamor with me and Harry, NC podcast, NC Melee podcast. This week, special guest, Whispy 2 champion, David, all the way from Wilmington. Um, we'll hop into some questions here pretty soon, but before we do, if you are not following my Twitch channel, you should be, because that'd be awesome, right? You
Yeah, you
won't.
should follow and give Bubs a kiss on the lips
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. Give me them kisses. Give me them kisses. Also, my YouTube channel, if you want to catch any of the any tournaments I stream, they're on there. Um, and also the podcast episodes are on there. So subscribe, follow, like, whatever, all that bullshit. Let's get into it. Welcome, David. What's up? How are you doing?
Thanks, good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, doing pretty good. Just got done with school today, ate, and now I'm here.
Hell yeah. Um, you wanna I think most people probably know who you are, but for those who don't, you want to give us a little bit of an introduction for yourself?
Yeah, my name's David Williams. My tag is David.
Very creative.
Yeah, I'm 26. I'm going to school at UNCW for my second degree. I'm in the last semester, and
Hell yeah.
I'll actually be moving to Durham in January, so I won't be Wilmington for much longer. Yeah, that's about it.
That's a big move. Do you have like a job lined up or something?
Yeah, I got a job at Pearson,
True.
lined up that start January 2nd, so I'll get a place and move down there. And it'll be nice being closer to tournaments.
Definitely. Um, is that the company that like makes textbooks? Is that the same
Uh,
Pearson? Or am I thinking of
yes.
something?
Nope,
Okay.
that's it. They're the
Hell
Educational
yeah.
monopoly.
resources company. Yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what they are now. They're not a textbook company anymore. I think they're yeah,
yeah,
what he said.
Okay.
yes.
So what's your you're getting your second degree. What's your first one then?
I have a degree in criminology. I was a
Holy
probation
shit.
officer for a couple
True.
years.
Really? Wow,
That's
that's
crazy.
interesting. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
And what's the second
uh,
one?
computer science.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot
Did
of
you?
CS majors in Boone too.
Definitely. Yeah, I've seen them all. Everyone hosts an NC Melee event. I think Lanky, Sam, a bunch of people definitely doing that.
Hell yeah.
That's. I want to. You don't have to answer this question, David. But did you not like the PO officer life? Is that something you decided you want to change, or was it you just found you like CS more?
It was just the money. Like
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like poverty line level money for a
Yep.
4-year degree was
For a
insane.
4-year degree,
That's
just
fucked
Yeah.
up, dude.
Yeah, if they paid more money, I mean, I wouldn't have minded it too much because it was cool. Because when I was going back to school, it was either because the way you're doing it, you're going to court every week, and it kind of goes into being a lawyer. So it was either go to law school or go
yeah.
back to school for something else.
Hmm.
It was a good experience, but yeah, not worth it at all for the money.
What drove you
Yeah,
away from the lawyer route?
I think it was because it was 3.5 years or 3 years or 2.5 years.
Hmm.
The money, the initial starting salary, and the fact that I still had my credits from UNCW, so I could just go back for 2 years instead of the full four.
yeah,
True.
Um,
yeah.
uh, and yeah, I have a bunch of friends. My girlfriend's in computer science, Max is in computer science, Sam, just like my entire friend group is doing it.
So now you're finally able to speak their language a little bit.
I'm in there.
Yeah, I'm in school to be a counselor right now, and I know counseling is not quite as like poverty line, but it is still a little bare bones. But I've heard with like a bachelor's degree in social work, that happens with people a lot, where like just a bachelor's in social work gets you just an entry level like poverty line job, like a parole officer, and that can be really hard, especially for like like such a human centered job, you know. But yeah, no, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
always wondered about that experience.
it's like safe. It's like a really like bare bones
Yes,
like safe
yes.
job, but there's not really a lot of room for advancement or actually like prospering. So,
Yeah, there's no movement.
yep.
All right. Well, any other introductory type stuff? Favorite color, favorite food, anything like that? Nothing.
I don't think I
Nothing
don't think
comes to
so.
mind.
I think that's about it. That's me.
Okay. Well, here's another question. What's your favorite game outside of Melee? before we start talking about all the big stuff?
Um, probably like casually, Slay the Spire.
True.
Yeah.
You're the second person. I think it
Yeah.
was Murdoch who said that too. That Murdoch
Oh,
would
that's
slay the
insane.
spire.
Yeah,
I
that's
think. I
the
think.
only game I've ever 100%ed. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then, if I wasn't playing Melee, I would probably be playing StarCraft competitively. That's
Oh
like
hell
the
yeah,
Okay.
only
that's
thing I
Word.
tight.
watch. Yeah, I love StarCraft. But those would be my favorites outside of Melee. But I don't really play them too much.
I
Yeah.
got you. Are you like a big like gamer outside of Melee, or you just like not
No,
really?
I have a lot going on, and I
Uh-huh.
typically will read or watch TV. But
True.
once I get done with school, I'll probably do more.
Pick up some games.
Yeah. I like to hear that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, David, if you mind, you can tell us as little or as much as you want about this, but how did you like learn about Melee and how did you start? Were you a documentary person or how did you learn about it?
So do you guys know Dov, the Wilmington doc?
Yes, I
Yeah,
know Davi.
we were on the same floor in 2014 at UNCW, and he
Yeah,
was just playing. It was like I don't know if it was the first day, but it was like everyone had this open door policy, and he was just playing Melee and there, and it's like everyone who plays Melee, when they were kids, like I'm really good at
yeah,
this game, I'm gonna
yeah.
fuck
I'm
this
hella
guy up.
sick.
Yeah, and I went and I got super fucked up. He destroyed me, and I was so pissed. So he showed me right then and there, I think, wave dashing. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go learn this, and then I'm gonna come back and beat you. He kept beating me, but then he showed me everything: the documentary, the PR, PPMD. I think at that time there was like an Apex going on, maybe,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was watching the
2014, there
tournaments.
probably was.
Yeah, so he got me into the game. So throughout college, we were playing, and then the Wilmington Melee scene kind of got brought up through Austin Todd around that time, and we had like
Oh,
our own little
shout outs to
PR
Austin
going.
Todd, bro. I've not
Yeah,
heard that name in a long time.
I don't
yeah,
Wow.
even know
I,
who that is.
yeah. He's like pretty. I don't know if he's like. I don't, my old school is different than other people's old school. Like
Yeah,
when I,
but he would
you
be
know,
old school nowadays, David.
I think
What was
so.
his tag? What was his tag?
Jukes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And he was the TO back then, so he was hosting these three little tournaments, qualifiers, like you're doing now, basically, to see who was on the Wilmington PR. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what really got everyone into Wilmington. That was like prime, I think, probably the best Wilmington Melee ever felt was like back when everyone started. No one knew who anyone was. Like pretty much everyone, I think, started right around then, 2014, 2015. Max,
Yeah.
Nimbus, all of them, other than maybe like Peachy or Justin.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know Peachy was Wilmington. That's crazy too.
Back then, he went to those tournaments. I remember because they got pissed a lot. I think they were
Because
getting mad.
Peachy, who did Peachy play? Peachy played a
Doc,
lot of different. Doc. Okay. All right. All
PG
right.
they
still
played Doc.
plays Doc.
Yeah, and I think going into those tournaments, they were considered the favorite. Them and Justin, who is awesome emblem. A lot of people probably don't know him, but they were really good back then. And then Max Nimbus just came through and won each qualifier, like
Let's
destroying
go,
them. I
Max.
just
Oh
and
my God.
I feel like Peachy just never was. They were pretty mad about that. Yeah.
So when you were starting out, what character did you play?
Initially, so the first tournament I went to was BMR, and back
Oh
then
hell
I
yeah,
didn't.
bro.
Yeah, that was a crazy tournament.
Yeah, it
There
was.
was just so many setups. I remember I didn't. I think I definitely got killed in pools, but I think Karma and
You lost to Karma?
yeah,
What
I
you
lost to
say?
Karma.
Oh my God, dude! No, what? Oh my! Every
Yeah,
time I
that's like
do this podcast, I get like overwhelmed by like names I haven't heard in like 7 years, and like,
yeah,
oh my God.
yeah. She beat me. I think like round one. And then I went
Oh.
and lost to some other. I was playing Sheep back then, but I didn't really have a main. And then
Mm-hmm.
then I eventually picked up Pikachu. I think that tournament I started playing Pikachu, and that was the main who I went into those qualifiers playing. So Pikachu was my very first like, hey, this is
Okay.
my main.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and yeah. So now I recommend to anyone who asks me for advice to not pick any low tier or mid tier ever in your life.
I mean, I
Get it
agree.
out of the way.
I mean, I picked Falcon when Falcon was considered like bad. I didn't think for a while, this is 2015, 2016. Not when he was bad, but like not what he is nowadays.
Mhm.
And I still had some questions about whether I should just switch to Falco or Fox. But I'm glad
Yeah.
I kept playing Falcon. I'll say that much. Falcon
Oh,
got
yeah.
way better in the last 3 or 4 years.
True.
So was there a particular, like, you mentioned those qualifiers for Wilmington? Was there a particular tournament series? Like, I remember there used to be peer pressures and stuff. Was there like a stable tournament series where people played a lot in Wilmington?
Oh, huge. They're also on YouTube. There was short, I think Shoreside, I think is what they were called. We had like
Yeah.
Wet n Wild series. We had a bunch of
Yeah,
different kinds of
okay, I
tournaments.
remember those too. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, those were a little after. I think Shoresides were the ones that we did like monthly. I think. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
back then. That's what I was saying. Back then, those were the we were playing a lot.
You said those are on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so. On Max's channel, let me see. Maxwell Falcon. Yeah.
New players
You
in
can
the
plug it.
chat, if you might have to do some digging, or maybe David will post it somewhere, but go back and watch those
Oh yeah, no, these are
and see
super
what Melee
old.
was like years ago and compared to how it is now.
Here, I can
Do
put
you
the
remember, might put you on the spot a little bit with your memory, David. So if you don't, this is cool. I'm not gonna get mad. But do you remember meeting me at a peer pressure in like 2016 when I drove into because you were there at the peer pressure. It was the one. It was Utah. It's when Tizzlefix was still around.
I always get the peer pressures mixed up because I think I went to 3 of them. The first one, I don't think that was in. I think that was 2016, wasn't
It
it?
was
Because the second.
December 20. It was December 2016 is when I came to that peer pressure. You might
Dang,
not remember me there.
I need to see the bracket.
Yeah.
Because there was
Yeah.
one. There was one where I beat Tahim and one where I lost a dash, and I get those confused.
Okay. Yeah, that's like ancient times now. That's
Those
6 years
were
ago.
Yeah, 2016, because there was a certain point where I was like ready to play everyone, and I think that was the one where I was playing Tahim. That first peer pressure was those were cramped little places at that.
Yeah, they were, dude. But the thing about I'm gonna ramble a little about peer pressure because I went to one and I thought they were sick. The thing about peer pressure that was so fucking sick is that you would literally step outside and there was the ocean. Like
Yeah,
that,
true.
that was it. You were literally on like one of them beach houses with stilts, and then the ocean was just right there. You got pissed off, got wobbled or some shit. You just went outside.
You want to
That
fight
to me was so
someone,
cool.
punch
Okay,
someone,
yeah,
go
I was
outside.
wondering if you were gonna bring up that story, but
No, you can see in one of the VODs somewhere there is a VOD of stingers like running outside, like you can hear the commotion.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
That
jeez.
those were nice
that is some
tournaments.
lore. Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna discuss that in here, but just I can ask whoever wants to ask me about it in person. I'll tell them about it because that is a fucking crazy story. And what I will say about that is that all the new Boon kids, you were very lucky to have a nice venue and a nice place like the ones in Blowing Rock. Don't, and your security is nearly guaranteed. So don't, you do not live in the same world me and David lived in. Dude, that shit was so crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that's true. I really want to, but
It
it's
sounds
just
like you
such a
really want
crazy.
to, Harry.
It's such a fucking crazy story, though. Nah, that's literally like, I'm just not gonna mention it. But just ask me in person, and then we can talk about it later. But peer pressures were sick. I fucking
Yeah,
love that shit.
those were
They
the Wilmington tournaments for sure. Those were
Yeah.
nice.
Now, who ran those? Was it Max that ran those, or
No,
it might have been a different person?
I think it was Phil. I could be completely wrong. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, this is ancient history now. But
Yeah, those were definitely a lot of fun though.
so I'll move on and say that I remember that was the first time I remember hearing about you, or like seeing you play in person and like realizing that you were good.
Mhm.
Um, I guess your breakout tournament was probably Super Famicom 2016, wasn't it?
That was that 2016?
Yes, that was the one you got. It was the set with you and Wayland played for top 8, if you remember that.
I do. I thought that was 2017 though. Am I getting
No,
my
that was
time mixed up?
2016. That was
Okay.
2016. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
some elephant memory.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that peer pressure that I think I beat Tahim, and then immediately after that, I think was Famicom.
Yeah.
That was my like milestone. Like, oh, beat someone on the PR, nice. And now I'm gonna go ahead and I went to that tournament. And then I think, yeah, I took a lot of names there. That was probably the best tournament I've ever been to because it was just so much fun.
Oh,
And were you playing Fox at the time?
you were playing
Yeah,
Fox back then.
yeah, I was playing Fox. Yeah, that was after I was playing Fox for a while.
Um, Yeah, do you know? Is there anything you want to say? Because I was at Famicom 2016 and 17. Was there anything you want to say about why that's one of your favorite tournaments?
Well, it's like you said, that's kind of when people, because at that time, even though I did beat Tahim, I think before this, I don't think anyone really knew
Yeah,
who
yeah.
I
You're just some
was.
kid from Wilmington, right?
Wilmington, yeah, but everyone in Wilmington knew once they saw my
Yep.
bracket that
Yeah.
I was about to go pretty far because I had a money match with Smash Bob. So before,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
on Facebook before that tournament, he just randomly posted an NC Melee. He was like, "Hey, you guys are garbage. Any Fox main can
Yeah. Yep.
play me
Yeah,
in
I remember this.
a money match, and you can pick the stages first to five, and I'll play any one of you." And I think I was the only comment. I was like, "I'll do $50."
Yeah, I
Holy
remember that
shit.
thread.
You
Dude,
got
this
some
it
Yeah,
was
balls,
different.
bro.
It was different back then, man. It really was.
and so before any of the sets happened, actually no, this was after the sets happened because I remember you can hear in the background of the set after I played Zaza Riley,
Yeah.
someone was saying, "Look out, Smash Bob," because I beat Riley, and then I think after that I went and I 5-0'd Smash Bob in that set,
Holy shit.
and then later on in the tournament I also beat him again in that set. Yeah, I also beat Sprankles that tournament. I beat Stingers, just a bunch of floaties, and then after
Yeah.
that everyone's like, the floaty killer, but it was really just Jigglypuff because I'm still really bad versus Peach.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you think made you good against Puff when you played Fox?
Um, I did have a lot of practice partners who were Jigglypuffs,
Yes,
but
because Max
even
played Puff. Yeah.
and Tizzlefix, because I don't
Yes.
know if a lot
Yes.
of people know Tizzlefix went to my high school. So
Oh
Holy
whenever
my
I went back,
shit.
yeah.
lord, dude! What the fuck?
So when I went back during the summer before I switched to Fox, I played him a whole lot, and he would always fuck my Pikachu up, and I money matched him. I said, I can just switch to Fox and I can beat your Jigglypuff easy. All you have to do is up throw up your Jigglypuff, and this matchup is free. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And then I beat him in 2 money matches after that. And then after that, I think that was the point where I was like, okay, I'm probably just gonna switch to Fox because this
Yeah.
character's insane.
So you
I think it's
switched to Fox off of Pikachu because of Tizzlefix?
uh actually that was when I first started like practicing
Okay.
Fox after that
Okay.
because I was realizing how I didn't switch until there's actually an interview I think from the first Wilmington tournament because I lost the first Wilmington tournament after coming back for a summer and I was pissed and I said I'm gonna switch to Fox and then no one here is gonna beat me again. It's an interview. If you look through those YouTube things, if you find the interview, you can see it.
On Max's channel? Yeah.
On Max's channel, yeah. And then after that, I switched and definitely never looked back. So if you play a low tier and you ask for me for advice, that's gonna be always my first thing is just switch to a better character.
Oh, dude, yeah, I love old lore like that. Um, Now, David, I know I did you take a break at any point? Did you during COVID or after 2019, or did you? Because I don't remember. I don't recall you being on the 2019 PR, but maybe my memory of that is shot.
I didn't even know we were doing melee during 2019. I could be wrong. Maybe because I took breaks all the time. That's one of
Yeah.
the biggest
Okay.
reasons why I switched characters. Because especially during the school year, I typically, especially back then, I was working full time, so I just didn't have time.
Yeah, you didn't have
So,
time to play Fox. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so I would play during the summer and then I would be done. So that's why, like on the PRs, you'll see I'm up there, I'm off there. It's not because I wasn't, I was just losing. It's because I just was like on and
Yeah.
off
You're
play.
inactive. You're literally inactive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think during COVID, when I went back to school, I was like, this is insane. I can't keep up. The moment I switched to Puff was actually, do you guys know who HT or
Yeah. I
Harriet?
know HTY is. HTY is hella good.
Yeah, this was back when she played Sheik, and she was just switching to Fox, and she beat me in a Fox Ditto. And from that moment forward, I was like, this is insane, because she was just short hop drilling me over and over again, and I couldn't figure out how to beat it, and I couldn't keep up, so I was like, fuck this, I'm just gonna play a different character.
That's crazy,
So
bro.
she is the reason I switched. And I think it was a tournament set, like online, like a Slippy
Shout outs to
tournament.
HT, bro.
Yeah, so she is the reason why I did that.
That's cool too,
And now
honestly.
you're sticking with Puff, right?
Yeah, just because I realize I can't keep up like practicing because in
Mm-hmm.
order to in my mind, in order to match what these foxes, people who are switching foxes, these new fox players, these box players, it's so hard to keep up if you don't grind, and I do not grind, not like
Yeah.
by myself. I
Mm-hmm.
practice by playing people. Um, so I decided to, switch characters, and I had a secondary Puff for a long time, and Puff, in my mind, is the easiest character to win with the least amount of tech skill.
Yeah.
Which,
I don't disagree with that
A lot
sentiment.
of people share that opinion, seemingly.
yeah. I mean, it's close to Falcon and Sheik. Those characters are also easy,
Yeah,
but
those are my other two. Yeah.
yeah, but they have some sort of tech skill. Falcon has
Mm-hmm.
invincible ledge dashes. Sheik has some kind of
Yeah.
needle stuff, but
Yeah,
Puff,
needle turnaround, and
as far
Falcon
as
has
I know,
gentleman.
yeah, Puff has zero. You don't need to know anything. You can just wave dash and back air, and you're good to go.
Hell yeah.
So, can I talk a bit about your Wispy bracket and how that went for you too,
Yeah,
if you remember the
I have it pulled
details of
up.
it?
Oh, I've got it
Sure.
pulled up.
So, I mean, going into this tournament, I guess Zasa was the favorite, right? Not by a huge margin, but just by her virtue of her being the best player in the state. Like, we're just gonna say that Zasa would win. I'd seen like earlier in the year, I can't remember exactly when, that you had taken sets off Zasa and the Puff Mirror. So what were your thoughts on her playing the Puff Mirror with her?
Like just in general.
Just in general, yeah.
Um, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I guess my thoughts on playing the Buccaneer with her. I mean, I don't mind it. Like, it's something I look forward to when I go to these tournaments. I'm looking forward to playing her.
Yeah.
'Cause, I want to beat her. Because when we play our sets, it's really people hate watching the Ditto, and I understand that, but playing in it is like kind of fun because you have to stay focused 100% of the time to actually win. Like it's like
Yeah.
30 minutes of have to sit here and play this insanely good player, and you have to be dialed in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just gonna get 3-0'd, which happens to us both all the time. We just 3-0 each other.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much whoever's dialed in and really thinking the most. Yeah, I personally I enjoy playing her a lot.
So would you say it's a lot more, like the Puff Ditto is a lot more intricate than viewers might think
Oh my god,
or
it's
understand?
definitely yeah. For me, it's more intricate than most matchups because it's not like versus Fox or Falco where I can get one punish and then boom, stock gone. I have to win neutral like 100 times in a row and then find the correct punish, which is usually to get a kill. You can either do drill up smash, up air, and back bear. Those are like pretty much the only ways you're gonna get a kill. And to
Yeah.
do those, they have to be at 100%. To get them to 100%, you gotta hit them a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
It was interesting. I definitely, being the TO and having to stay there, I watched that set, and I was like, it was legitimately very interesting. I wouldn't say that the Puff Mirror is my favorite matchup to watch. I don't think it's many people's, but watching
yeah,
you two play, who were both and knowing you're both clearly good, it was just like, wow. I mean, it's like you could see how you were like jockeying. I won't get too nerdy here because, you know, but you know how you were jockeying for position, how you would pick your drift on your back airs, when if someone went to the air, how you would shark the landing, how if some person lost center stage control, how they would take it back, because you're not playing like a dash dance heavy character like Falcon or Marth, right?
mhm,
You're just saying who has air superiority and who's going to get the earliest kill, right? So
yeah.
like it was interesting.
Yeah, in those matchups, if you like even like getting a couple hits being behind, it's a huge deal. Like
Yes.
especially once you get a stock ahead, it's like the biggest deal.
Yeah, because I noticed that too, where it's like there was one game I know you and Zasa played where you were up a stock and a half, and it's just like it looked like Zasa just couldn't come back because you could
Yeah,
always just win neutral again, right? There's
it,
no grab punish.
that's it. You have to win neutral a lot to be able to come back. A lot
Yeah,
more than them, which is very hard when you play someone like her.
So
yeah,
in that matchup, getting the lead is like super important.
It's huge. I mean, once you get that kill, it's like a huge weight is lifted off. You're like, oh my god, I'm so far ahead. All I have to do is get a couple more hits, and then I'm just looking good. Yeah. Specifically in that matchup, I don't really feel that way, and maybe versus Peach, but for most part, that's specific to the Ditto.
I'm pulling up the bracket right now to look if I want to ask you anything else other than playing Zasa.
Was there anyone else you were looking forward to playing besides Zasa, or anyone you were scared of playing going into Wispy?
Psyched. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about him.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to play Psych to Winners Finals
Yeah.
because Zasa beat them.
Glad I dodged him. Yeah. I need to go back and watch those sets. Thank God Redman recorded it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Hell
it's a
yeah.
log.
Yeah,
Shout
I'll
out
be
to Red
super
Man.
scared of psyched to for any tournament going forward. Meat is getting better. Almost beat me. Thank God he didn't. Fuck you,
No,
Meat.
yeah, Grand is getting better. Grand is hella good, bro. I
Yep.
fuck with Grand heavy.
Got
Is
him.
Psych just like really good at the Puff matchup, or are you?
I think he's just really good. He's just
I
Just
think
really
Joe's
good?
just hella good at it.
yeah.
No,
I
I
think
mean,
he is the most likely person right now to get top 100 in my mind, just based off seeing him play. If he continues to get better.
and he just, I of course I don't know everything about the way he plays Marth, but having watched him even play in online tournaments, he has a lot of like small Marth micro situations figured out, and that's usually the mark of someone who is going to be very good, who has like a good grasp on like micro situations and CC with their character.
He's
So,
also just like really fucking fast.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've played a Marth that like can overwhelm me like Psyched does.
His punish game is just really strong. It feels like anytime I get a grab at 60, I'm kind of dead no matter what, which is huge in that matchup.
Yeah,
If you
Mhm.
don't
it
kill
is.
Puff early, it's like, it's over.
I was watching him play losers finals with Zasa too, and it looked like his neutral was also always good enough that he could still win off of chip hits, which was
Yeah.
also really huge in that matchup.
Yep, he's really good at sharking too. So coming down is pretty hard, at least for me whenever I play him on that play. Anyone else who I didn't want to play or did want to play?
Did you want to play the Yoshi player?
No, I would have. Don't get me started, dude. I'm so glad I didn't have to play them.
Didn't have to play Daniel. That's tight.
You don't
Yeah,
like
whereas-
playing versus Yoshi?
I don't like
I don't-
playing with any crouch canceling, lame ass, low tier character. No.
I don't know many people that like playing against Yoshi, to be honest, except like Sheik players, but even then, that not anymore. Yoshi is just so. For a while, we always said that like in the Hungry Box peak era, we always said Puff was the character that didn't play by the rules. But nowadays, it feels like Yoshi. Yoshi just does not play by the rules of any other character.
I mean, I don't know. As someone who has a Yoshi in their region, I don't think it's that bad. But I also
I'm
play
saying
Fox, so
it's like the worst feeling is playing versus these characters like Peach, like Samus, like Yoshi, and hitting them with a move and then just getting punished for it no matter what. Like I can hit Yoshi in the air and I get punished for it. Like
Yeah.
for getting a hit.
Honestly, sometimes with Peach, I don't think it's as bad because Peach overall is a better character, but she's slow, so it's not like you can immediately get counter hit, but a lot of times Peach is also terrible out of the corner. So it's like, yeah, she has like a more like pronounced weakness in the corner more than Yoshi does in some ways. But yeah, I don't know. I play Falcon too, and I've learned a lot playing Tristan over the years too, Bubs. But it's like a lot of it's so counterintuitive because in Melee the grab and combo game now is so developed that I play like Falcon Marth. I'm like, all right, I'm up airing him no matter what, right? He's gonna get up air need at this %, and then you do that to Yoshi, and then you get nared. You're like, all right, well, this is good. And then like even Falcon, sometimes my moves don't break Yoshi armor. I mean, relatively late, like 90, 100 damage, but that's like ridiculous. Like Yoshi can parry any of my aerials. Yoshi can parry my grab. Like it's like I don't know, it's crazy.
Well, it's just playing those characters. If I know I'm gonna go in and hit them and get hit back, it's just gonna force me to play a way I don't want to play. It's gonna make
yes,
me
and I agree with that too.
Which I hate. I hate playing burst characters who make me
Puff
play
absolutely should on paper camp the fuck out of Yoshi. There's no way she shouldn't do that.
But even any character versus those characters, like Fox, same thing. Yeah, like anytime I played a Peach, I felt like I have to camp this character because otherwise I'm just gonna go in and get desmashed.
And you get down smashed.
Yeah, or float canceled bared. It just feels like you can't go in on these characters safely unless you're again really technical, which I was not. So yeah.
That's an interesting perspective. I hadn't really thought about it that way. Like just having to like play.
I mean, those characters can't help it. Yeah, they can't help it because they have to play that way.
That's their win condition. Yeah, no, that's
they have to play that way. It's not like I blame them.
On how they have to play it, but it is aggravating to play against.
Yeah, I hate it. So I hate it.
Yeah, you just disengage completely, which I respect. It's like fucking play Puff, right?
Even as Puff, I hate those matchups, dude.
Yeah,
I hate those characters
you talk about
so
that
much.
too.
hate them, dude.
Yeah, I don't think Yoshi players are fraudulent or anything either, but it is like a headache of a matchup for most characters to play, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty tough.
I think that kind of leads us pretty well into one of our viewer questions. So if y'all don't mind, we can hop to those real quick.
Sure. Give
Um,
the people their shine.
So we're gonna skip around a little bit. We'll start with Peel, who says, "Besides Peach, what top tier matchup do you think is most Puff favored? What matchup does Puff most struggle with, and what matchups do you feel you do better or worse in?"
Which top tier matchup do you think is most Puff favored? Other than Peach, mm, I think they're all 50-50 or Puff wins. Versus Marth, Sheik, Falco, Falcon. Yeah, all those I think are 50-50 or Puff wins slightly. So I think it would just be Peach. Do you think is most Puff favored out of those? I would say probably Falco, but that's because my win percentage versus Falco is just higher. So I think it would make sense that I think Puff probably does better versus Falco than most of those other characters, just due to gimping and the punish game. Struggle with the most, obviously Fox. I think Fox destroys Puff. Like it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even close. And even as so when I played Fox, no matter who I played, even those characters like Peach and Yoshi, it felt like I had an option to do what I wanted to do. Like I
Yeah,
could do
yeah.
something to counter what they were doing. As a Puff playing versus really good Foxes, it almost feels like I don't have any options,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
sucks. So that's something I'm struggling with right now is playing really good Foxes and trying to understand why I'm losing. Because there are certain situations that feel impossible to do, like play in as Puff. So
Yeah.
that would be my worst matchup too. Would be Fox, and then those other lame matchups that we were talking about earlier.
I want to poke your brain too, because we had in the Wilmington Discord a while ago. We had the Puff Falcon, like a brief Puff Falcon discussion. Do you think Puff destroys Falcon, or do you think it's just like slightly favored for her?
I think slightly favored. Again, or even.
Yeah, or even.
I think Falcon probably does the best out of most of those other matchups. Again, just because of punish game, I think Falcon has guaranteed kill moves at like 60% that they can
Yes.
100% get, while other
Yes.
characters like Marth, Sheik, and Falco have to do a lot more work. While Falcon will just have to hit a grab and get a 50-50
Yeah.
reach.
Down throw
But
knee 65 to 85, right? Yeah.
yeah, but it's hard to get a grab, but you still have that option to do if you can trick up the Puff. So I think like if I was to pick any other character to play versus Puff, it would be Falcon,
Yeah.
other than Fox.
No, I
Um,
think
yeah,
I agree with the sentiment. I think that the thing that's make in my mind it's simple, but it makes me wants me like to skew it another direction is because Falcon getting edge guarded by Puff is a fucked up situation. I mean, yeah, like you're in
yeah,
a horrible position, and
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say if a Falcon's off stage without their jump, they should be dead,
Yeah,
100%.
and it's like it is that way with a lot of other matchups with Falcon, but with Puff it feels particularly easy for them to just bear you to death,
You're
when
right.
you're off stage.
True.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
punish is
yeah,
definitely big.
yeah. I've played a couple hours of Melee in my life, David. But I've had the shit beat out of me by Zasa a couple times. I didn't get any closer at the time, but I'm trying to work on Puff now in the Puff Falcon stuff because I mean, if I'm trying to be better in the region and there's just too many Puffs for me to.
How many
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Puffs?
run into a Puff trying to win no matter what. So
Knowing the Puff matchup is, I feel like, super important nowadays in NC Melee.
It was important back in the day too.
it
We had,
was too. It
I
might
mean,
have been worse back then, honestly, in
yeah,
terms of
we
the
had
Puff.
Tizzlefix, we had Sprankles, we had Hi-Fi, we had
Oh
Zaza, and even Nimbus,
yeah,
it was like a hidden boss. And then we had Smash Bob, who came up to all our tournaments all the
Yeah,
time. We had crazy
yeah.
buffs back then.
Dude, we had the most entertaining Melee sets of all time, the Smash Bob Shark sets, where it would go to time, and then Smash Bob would not interact because honestly he was gonna get wobbled. And yeah, dude, there's times I would say I had a little bit. Okay, this is something I think it's funny to say, but it's respectful, so I'll say it. When I was running the tournament, I was just like, oh, can I do top 12 best of 5, right? I was having that conversation about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Had to be out by 7:30. I was like, can I do top 12 best of 5? Then I looked at the bracket and it was Marth, Yoshi, Puff, Puff, Puff.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? No. I'm not going to do that. because I knew you and Zasa were going to play in winners finals, and I
Yeah.
knew that I was going to play at least one, be close to playing one of you, and I was like, this is not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah. No, that was smart.
Yeah, because we got out just about in time, which was
True.
clutch. But I was like, oh my goodness. But I think, yeah, back then, you had to have Puff experience because I mean yeah, and it's like to get into, and it's true now too, but to get into winter semis and grand finals of a decently stacked North Carolina tournament where PR players are there, you have to be good at Puff.
Yeah.
And I think that's super critical.
Yep.
I actually kind of like Puff Falcon, because I still feel like even though Falcon loses slightly, it's a matchup where I can still play to my strengths, if that makes sense. Falcon just being super good at the ground and having like a punish, like a good consistent throw confirm, that
Yeah.
still makes it like tolerable in my head.
No, I
but
personally love playing every character versus Puff in the top 8, other than like Peach and Ices.
yeah,
Yeah.
Clamor's Puff is awful.
For me as a Fox main, like I can't really speak to the Falcon Puff that much. I do play a little Falcon Puff versus J Gold sometimes, but when I'm playing like Isla, I feel like it's just like it's so like neutral heavy in a way, which is awesome because I think like that's how it like kind of should be, or like I don't know, it's like most fun that way because it's like, okay, I'm actually outplaying this person when I get a hit or when I get a kill or whatever. The only thing I don't like is getting arrested a fuck ton. I always get fucking up there arrested, and I should be DIing it, so that's kind of my fault, whatever. But it is, it wears down on you a little bit.
Yeah, it gets tiresome.
Yeah, it happens, but I feel like Fox's up throw up there. I'm telling you from this side, it's just as annoying to get.
Oh no,
Yeah,
fuck,
definitely.
no, trust me.
Definitely.
You have an ally in the Fox and Falco are annoying camp right here, David. Don't worry about me in terms of those opinions.
Well, I'm just saying, because from Fox's side, it never felt bad at all. I didn't care about anything with the Puff matchup. Everything.
Yeah. Why would you? Why would you?
It felt so easy. It felt so easy. And then I come over to this side, and it's like it's so
This is
bad.
hell.
It's
This is so bad. I die at 50 if I don't hit like
Yeah.
2 smash DI inputs every
Yeah.
time. Like,
It's like so hard. You have no idea how hard it is to beat these good Foxes.
Dude,
They're so good.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch some David VODs because
I
do
can
not
give
feel...
you- I can definitely, if you send me replays, I can tell you what you should do. Because a lot of
Okay,
people,
bet.
I think I did things that I think a lot of people in that matchup didn't do,
Yeah.
and probably still don't do. Because especially because I never lasered, so my
yeah,
entire
you
game
didn't,
was just
you didn't
neutral. So
hit the puff player with
Yeah.
a yeah. That was the craziest thing about your Fox. We used to call David the Puff Slayer too, but that was
True.
back in the day
Yeah.
now.
All right,
Um,
Isla, you heard it here first. I'm about to get in the lab with David. You better be quaking in your boots.
I can 1,000,000% teach you how to beat Puff with.
Hell yeah.
Puffs. It's just because the biggest thing is just you can up throw up air correctly, because a lot of people don't do it correctly. At the right percents, Puff should not be able to smash DI
Yeah.
it.
She has no
And-
option to.
Yeah, and so if you're playing neutral correctly, you should always be able to fish for these percents to get kills, and it's very hard for Puff to do anything about it.
All right, well, jumping to another sent-in question. We'll stick with Melee for the topic. Meat asks, what's your most controversial Melee opinion?
I feel like people probably think the stuff I said about the Yoshi and stuff is my most. I don't even know. I have probably a good amount, but I personally hate when people pop off before fist bumping someone, or vice versa.
Oh
Getting
no, that's actually
losing a
pretty fair.
set and then
So, like, Hungry Box? Like,
anyone.
anyone. Okay.
I don't really care about Hungry Box as much because those guys aren't even in like my realm of. I'm saying like at tournaments I go to.
Okay.
Like when I go
when
to
you
a
see
tournament. 'Cause
someone with
when
your
I see
eyeballs.
someone-
Yeah.
Yeah, like yeah, when I see someone pop off and then it's just like, what are you doing, dude? Because like especially for newer players, because I remember when I beat Tahim for the first time, he just looked at me, smiled, and just shook my hand, and that's just so insane. That's so nice. Like people need to understand that like these things have impacts on people. Like if you have this newer player almost taking a set off you and you pop off after beating this guy. It's just like, I don't know. If that's probably controversial. I just don't like when people at least give them the handshake and then go pop off, in a corner or something. Or if you lose, don't throw your controller or unplug it. Give them a
No,
handshake and then go
I
cry in the
agree with
corner.
you, David.
It just
I was yeah.
it just feels so rude to the other player. But I know some people can't help it, but they should try.
Nah, I was definitely a cringer back in the day, so I won't, I won't be too critical. But I agree with you, David. I won't say that I haven't had my fair share of pop-offs and being mad at shit, but I don't think I've ever. I spiked at my house when I lost to you that one time, Bubs, but that was in my own house, so it felt different.
Yeah.
But because you can't tell me to leave my own house. I guess if you would, it just
No,
wouldn't
you
work
had
out,
that
but
one. You had that one. That was all
Yeah.
you.
yeah.
I definitely think I agree. I don't know if I would say that's like controversial, but I feel like there's probably not a lot of people like talking about that kind of thing. So it is interesting that you bring it up. Do you remember Harry at Whispy 1 when J Gold beat Ibrisky?
Is Brisky, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He popped off, right?
Yeah, I think J Gold did, and I know when Oven Gut played J Gold at
Oh
Bibber, Oven Gut
yeah,
popped off.
yeah.
Oven Gut popped off hella hard. I was like,
Dude,
damn, bro.
yeah.
And
I think
it's not like I think less of these people because I know it's just a common thing in Melee. It's like you pop off after you beat someone. I just imagine this person losing this huge set and they're so down, and this dude's just
like just freaking out, bro. I think popping off at like the highest level is completely understandable. If you're popping off at like a major level, I kind of at that point that's like I don't care. You've
Yeah,
earned that.
if you're like 20 feet away from someone and you're on a different setup, I could see that being different. I'm saying when you are like right next
Sitting
to them
next to
and
him.
you do this right in
Yeah.
front of their fucking face right before you fist bump them, they're just holding their fist out while you're just dancing around. Like
You're
just
like doing
fist bump the guy and then
fucking
you can do your
boogie.
dance.
No, I respect that opinion. Like I said, I'm a
No.
perpetrator of cringe, so I'm not gonna say like my hands are clean on this, but I agree with your opinion.
Going
think
off of
sometimes-
that. Sorry,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead, Harry.
Bubs.
No, go
No,
ahead.
I was gonna say I think sometimes when you pop up on people like that, this is a funny way to say it, but it does kind of dehumanize them because they're just sitting there having to watch you just like go like yes, like and you're like you're at the end of the day you just played a 20-year-old children's party game and you just like yelled in the dude's face, and
Yeah.
it's like you do have to have some like at the end of the day you're both gonna have to walk out of the venue, so it's like there is some like a human part to it too.
I was gonna say it's more just like respect, just like give the dude a
Yeah.
stab and then you can pop off.
Yeah,
But
do whatever, bro.
Yeah.
So going off of that, do you think there's like a I don't want to say like a respect issue, but do you think like Melee players as a whole, or at least in our area, could be more respectful of each other? Or is it just like that one thing?
I don't. I don't think so. I don't think it's like a big thing. I know a lot of other people like just just because when I play Melee, I think I play Melee for different reasons. So like when I'm saying these disrespectful things, it's not. I mean, I obviously don't like it, but it's more like the outside. Like if a new player comes in, and I want them to feel like that it's a good environment to play, or if like some random outsider came and saw this,
Yeah.
they see someone spike their controller, run off. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
It's more like that. I don't think it's
Okay.
just like an initial respect, because I don't really care about what anyone how people are. I don't know, respecting or disrespecting. That's just like a personal thing. Like for me, like if someone's disrespecting or anything, I'll avoid that person. But as far as Melee goes, I'll play Melee with anyone. They could pop off on me or not pop off on me. They could be so disrespectful, but if they're really good, I'm gonna play versus them.
True. Okay.
I think it's probably gotten better in terms of, I guess, niceness. I feel like a lot of our, I don't want to say top players, but I feel like most everyone in NC Melee is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I definitely agree with that. From most people I've met, like everyone seems really nice and willing
especially compared to back and like the other days. There were definitely some top players that were kind of like not tough to be around, but like
yeah.
No, there were. I experienced it. You did too, I'm certain, because you were new then too. But
Yeah, no, especially because when you are new, you definitely see these players, and like at least I did. I saw these
then,
players
yeah,
like I put them on a pedestal. Like these guys are insane. These guys are so good. And then you go up and talk to them, and they're like, "Oh, these guys actually are kind of not
just
nice either."
weird. Yeah,
Yeah, they're weird. They're not that
weird more
cool.
than anything, frankly. But
Yeah, that's why it was so cool to play people like Tahim or Sharks, and like this guy's
yeah,
actually super nice. Thank God. That's
yes,
so
yeah,
nice.
no, two great examples of people who were cool no matter what.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that goes a long way, I think.
No, I agree. Do you have in like the Wilmington scene? Do you think there's like an up and coming hidden boss of Wilmington that you want to talk about or give like exposure to? Or do you think it's just you? And if it's just you, that's fair. But you know what I mean.
Um, I mean, Nick and Eddie are obvious. I think Nick
Yeah.
has been grinding a lot, so I could see him. He has to do a couple more things. Like there are levels that once you learn certain aspects of the game or get certain flowcharts down, you're gonna go up a level. So once he starts hitting these flowcharts, I think he's gonna go up there. Because especially in tournament, I think something that's consistent for a lot of people is they don't play um, the same they do in friendlies, and I feel
Oh,
like that's really
absolutely not. Yeah,
yeah, like
absolutely
that's
not.
hitting Nick and them pretty hard.
Yeah.
That's
But I
like
think once
one
they
of
get
the
over that,
hardest aspects of
it's
competing in
so
this
hard.
game.
That's why Puff is so much better in tournament than any other character, because I feel like that doesn't apply to Jigglypuff, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But for most other characters, I know even as Fox, if I played certain characters in certain matchups, I would play completely different than I would in friendlies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say Nick. He would be like my bet for like hidden boss come up.
And Nick and Eddie are Spooktia
And Shocks, yeah,
Shocksta.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ice
yeah.
Climbers, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
I
climbing
like
up.
both of those dudes. They're both
Yeah, those
really
guys
good
are
at
cool.
melee. They're
I
both
talked to
really
them a
nice.
lot.
Yeah, they're gonna have to carry Wilmington on their back once I leave.
It's all right. Seems like your scene's doing pretty well right now. I think you're
Yeah.
still having a lot of tournaments and people are still talking a lot, so that's good.
Yeah, no, Eddie hosts like relatively consistently at his house for like 8 or 12 man tournaments. And we all play. It's fun. Oh, Cooper also, but I don't know how much he's actually doing.
Shout outs to fucking
Muffin Man.
Muffin Man, dude.
Oh man.
Yeah. Muffin Man's a demon, bro.
I was gonna ask, or I was gonna say, or ask, whatever. I think Spooktia was like host. There was some kind of like big tournament at like a really nice venue. Did you go to that?
Yeah, I won that, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
I was
go.
gonna say because if it was Isle of Melee, then David won that.
Yeah, that's what it was,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
Spooktia was talking
Yeah.
about like hosting like something like regularly there. Can you tell us about
Yeah,
the venue and like?
Oh,
For
yeah,
what
no.
for what you know, David. For what you know.
Yeah.
Well, I was an investor in that venue.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the venue, I don't know how much it is, but either way, we all put up money. Like I put
Mhm.
up we all put up $50 for a prize pool to get people to come out, and then we hosted an online tournament. And if someone won the tournament, I would put more money in the pool. They didn't win the tournament, but I still put more money in. So we had like a 200 or something prize pot.
Yeah, crowdfunded, right? Crowdfunded.
Yeah, and then he had this venue which was similar to yours. It was I will say it was more spacious. They
Yeah.
had AC going, but your place was cold just because I think it was cold outside. It felt really
Yeah.
good. It wasn't like
Yeah.
hot, which was
No,
really
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Mine. That's what I
Um,
like about that venue.
yeah, but this one was spacious, and we had pizza. We again, that's crowdfunded. We just bought a bunch of pizza for everyone to come out, and then we had a stream setup, but we couldn't get internet. I guess that's what's happening, like at all
Yes,
these other
same
places.
thing with mine. There's just no
Yeah.
Ethernet there, so.
But Max ran the stream. We had commentators, and we put those videos up on YouTube. So those are
Hell
I
yeah.
think under
Will those
Wilmington
also be on
Melee.
Max's channel?
Yeah.
No, I think
Wilmington NC Melee, I think is
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah.
yeah. I can try to get that. And overall, I've had loads of fun. Thank God Dash came out. It was so much fun playing him. He really, especially we also had doubles, which was a lot of fun.
Hell
Even though there
yeah.
weren't like too many teams. I don't know. It was
Mhm.
overall a good experience. A bunch of I think Durham people came out. Satchel came out. That whole
Yeah, I remember
community.
Satchel played that tournament too.
Yeah, Spaceman was there. He did really good. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
So as an investor, can you give us maybe a sneak peek on when the next one might be?
Eddie said it would be sometime in January. I think he wanted to do it before I left, but my time to leave got moved up.
Mm.
So But as far as the next one, I'm not entirely too sure. But I will be investing again that way. You know, maybe I can also get a Durham car to come out.
True.
Shasta,
And
was it
a
was it
boon
John
car.
Newman that bought the pizza? Sorry, I'm asking.
Oh yeah, New Man bought the pizza.
John Newman, shout out to Newman, dude.
Yep, New Man bought the pizza. You're exactly right, cause yeah, he just went and got it and just bought it for everyone. Shout
That's
out
sick.
to New Man.
Shout
Oh
out to
yeah.
John Newman.
Any boon people in the chat, if you want to go to this next, I don't know if it's gonna still be called I Love Melee, but this next Wilmington event, I really want to go. So we will get a
Probably
car
will,
out there.
That's like a 6-hour drive. I don't think anyone will
Hey,
expect.
I mean, you drove 6 hours to Whispy, David. So I mean,
Well,
let's
that
not
was
say that.
that was 4 hours. That's a pretty big difference.
It was a while though. You drove a while.
We can make a drive like that. We can stay overnight somewhere and then go the next day or something like that.
True.
My
That's definitely not expected though. 6 hours is insane.
well, my family, my mom lives in Raleigh, so we could stay there and then drive the next whatever.
Cut it in half.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a big deal probably. It would be like probably a weekend trip or whatever, but for
that would be awesome if we get
for
a
this
boon
tournament,
people
I
out.
feel like it would be worth it, right?
If it was like the last one was a lot of fun.
Last one had like 30, 40 people, didn't it?
Yeah, had a
It
bunch
was
of
regional size. Yeah.
Yeah. I think other than the Bibber or Biber, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think those
Bibber.
were the 3 biggest ones, unless I'm missing something.
It's
no,
Bibber,
the one
Whiskey.
Simmons won, or that was the one he won.
Bibber 6,
Yes,
Simmons
the
1,
most
Dash was there,
recent
I
Bibber.
was there,
Yeah, that was a stack tournament.
Hassel was there,
Yeah.
Reggie was there. A lot
I'm
of people
glad
were
we're
there.
having stacked tournaments again. For a while, wasn't that way. It was usually just a PR player, and then everything else just went the way it did. Now we're having with 4 or 5 different PR players are in the same room. You know, like with the most recent Bibber or the most recent Whispy, like there's just good people everywhere again, which is nice to see.
Yeah, and I won't be able to go to that food. What is that Bulbasaur tournament? In December. I think they posted about it just because
Was it
it's
in Raleigh?
finals week. Yeah.
Is it Boudoir stuff? Is that the name
that's
of it?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was Bulbasaur too. The first
Bulbasaur.
time Is it
thought that's-
Carborough? I think.
Oh, it's a Munchlax. I thought it was a Bulbasaur. Okay. Well, yeah, I would go to. I wish I could go to that tournament, but it's during finals week. But everyone.
Yeah, so
should go to
fuck that, bro. Being in school, I could say fuck that too, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck
I wish.
with shit.
I think they said it was during their finals week. I was like, so why are you hosting?
Yeah, you're just gambling, bro. You're just like, all right, bro, we'll do it.
Do it the weekend after, please.
Yeah, I'm saying.
But they got. Oh, Stingers is signed up.
Word? All
Oh,
right.
okay.
Damn, I hadn't seen Stingers in a minute, bro.
I think the last time I saw him was on net play, playing Pikachu.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
that sounds about right.
So let's jump to another viewer question we got. Well, we got one from Shocksta. Shocksta, he said, "Why did he betray Fox for Puff?" We kind of already talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so we'll hop to one that's not melee related, and then we'll ask the last one, which is melee related. So Zane asks, "What's your favorite restaurant in Wilmington?"
There's a burger place called PT's, and they have like these. They have burgers and fries, and they just fuck their shit up with like lemon pepper, and it's just.
Oh,
really good.
okay.
Yeah.
Man,
So if anyone
That
came
does
to
sound
Wilmington,
really good.
I would suggest going to PT's Grill. It's really good.
I like that. I like that answer. I love a good burger, man. I got spoiled by going to Hops in Greensboro all those years, but I'm certain that shit is fire, bro. I've been spoiled by the burger lords in Greensboro.
Burger Lords.
I mean, between Emmekey's and Hops, I've never wanted for another burger in my life. It's tough. Shout outs to the Greensboro people that know. Watch this later. Redman says he's going to Hops tonight. Absolutely, bro. That's what I want to hear.
Dude,
That's what I
rest
wanna
in
hear.
peace, the fucking Galileo's burgers.
Bro,
They were
recipes
so
Galileo's
good.
in general, bro.
Yeah.
That was such a good venue.
They had burgers there that were just not like anything else in Boone. Like you can go to Five Guys, you can go to Cookout.
Yeah,
but
you go to Comeback Shack.
yeah,
It just wasn't the same.
yeah. All right. So our next viewer question comes from Moose, who asks, David has by far taken the most sets from Zaza since COVID and is the only one besides Duck to take any. Does he like the Ditto? Is Zaza not good at the Ditto? What is his X factor?
Let's see. Does he like the Ditto? Yeah. I like the Ditto. I think it's a lot of fun. I just like Dittos in most matchups just because stages don't matter. It's kind of just
Yeah.
player versus player. Is Zaza not good at the Ditto? That's insane. No, she's very good at.
I was gonna
Just
say,
because
Moose
just because
trolling a little
I'm
bit with that one.
Moose trolling a little with that.
just because I'm beating her, she just might not be good.
No, I don't think that's how that works. But that's okay.
No, she's very good at Ditto. She's good at every matchup.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think probably, I think I watched the podcast and Isle said Zaza liked the Ditto, but I swear, playing her in the Ditto, I don't think she does.
Yeah,
At
Zaza
least,
seemed pissed. I'm just
I
being a witness there that day. Zaza
yeah,
seemed like she was tight. Like,
she
yeah, I don't know.
she does not seem to like it. But as far as I mean, she's good at it because when you see, because we trade sets every time we play. At every single tournament, we've traded sets, and it's because we both adapt. So he said, what is the X factor? I guess that
Yeah.
means
What
what's
matters the
different.
most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we go into these sets, I think I typically win the first one, and I'm assuming because when we're going in, we kind of autopilot. So we're autopilot versus autopilot. And I'm assuming, I guess my autopilot must just win most of the time.
Yeah.
But then either during that set or the next set, she'll change something. She'll be like, okay, so I'm gonna, and this is pretty much what it is. So I fair a lot and nair a lot and kind of keep center stage, and she'll play more on the platforms, and then she'll also kind of be aggressive, which I think is her autopilot. She like tends to play a little more aggressive than most puffs, but I also tend to play that way. So she kind of has to go away from that and play a lot more safe, back airy, and more positioned, I
Yeah, and
guess.
she doesn't like that as much as her default, right?
Yeah, she has to play slower. Again, this is just what I'm assuming because when I'm playing in those sets, I can tell that she's adapting, and then I have to adapt right after that. I have to be like, okay, because
Yeah.
I think at Whispy, I 3-1'd her, and then she 3-0'd me, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
in the grand finals reset, right?
yeah. So
First
I'm like,
grand final.
okay, so I got to change something, and then I started to play it more back air heavy, more platform
Yeah,
heavy instead
more.
of
Yeah.
playing with no fairs,
Yeah.
and it kind of just keeps going back and forth like that. I don't um, and it also, again, I don't think she likes them. I think she's been getting tilted. I don't know why. I guess maybe in the sets we've been playing, because she definitely does get tilted when she plays me,
Yeah.
which could be an X factor. Um, but she's very good at the Ditto. It's just it's a grindy matchup. It really is.
Yeah.
You have to stay focused the whole time, and if
Yeah.
not, you definitely
Yeah.
get
And like,
tilted and you're getting fucked up.
yeah, and the two sets that happened at Whispy, y'all interacted pretty consistently, and it still took 35, 40 minutes, right?
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, 'cause again, we play which I love. We play every set on Battlefield, which I absolutely love. We're not.
Yeah, I
That's
agree
tight.
with. I sign
Yeah,
off on that.
yeah. So stages don't matter. We just play, and again, yeah, none of us are like camping each other out, but we're definitely playing slower as the set goes on. But it's still
Mm-hmm.
not like camp fest. But I love it. Yeah. Again, those are my.
That's a really good
That's
answer.
what I look. That's what I
Yeah.
look forward to going to these
No, that
tournaments.
was
I'm
an
like, I
informed
gotta get
answer.
there, and
Yeah.
it's awesome. She's also my favorite player to watch. I think that was one of these questions. She's
Yeah,
my
it
Zasa,
favorite
was.
yeah,
player.
that's
I,
because yeah, I'm
I
spoiled because I grew up watching Zasa too, and yeah. Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
well,
I
no,
agree.
you're good. I think she must have got annoyed with me because when I did switch to Puff, I think I bothered her. I was like, "Do you have any sets I could watch, please, of you playing versus Puff? Anyone? Just show me some sets." And she's just like, "I haven't been playing." I was like, "God fucking
Damn
damn
it!
it."
Like,
Yeah, those are my favorite sets. Watching her play, Cobalt,
yep,
Rick.
VMR2, right? And
Yeah,
Rick. Shoutouts
those
to
are
both
just
those
like
dudes.
the best sets to watch. It's so hype. Just watching her fuck them up.
Yeah, because those sets, at least with the Ricks, that my memory, like it felt like she was losing or about to lose most of the set, and then she just won. She just like
Yeah.
clutched, and it was like,
No,
this is fucking
Zaza
nuts.
has like some of the most hype NC melee moments from my memory.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than like maybe GCS beating Lod. I remember that was hype.
That's the
Oh, that's
craziest
tight.
upset by like seed, right? Of that happening at the day, yeah. Maybe Mike playing somebody or Sharks beating Zane,
Sharks
Like,
beating Zane was who I was thinking, but I don't think
yeah,
Zane was up there at that time.
no, Zane was like more top 40, top 30-ish. It's
Yeah,
crazy how good he got that fast. But yeah, he
he
wasn't
got quick.
top 20 yet at that time.
Yup, Sharks beat him. I remember.
Yeah, one day tournament. It's like
Yep.
I remember you can't see it now because YouTube is hidden the dislikes. But I think it was Colin and Twisty commentated that set, and I'll be honest, Zane got the shit wobbled out of him. And it was one of the most disliked Melee videos I've probably ever seen.
Dang, I don't know.
It was really funny.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but I remember Stingers almost beat someone really good at that tournament. But the lights went out or something, and like
Yes.
the set had to be restarted. And
Yeah.
I think he was up
Jeez.
like a game, and like he was about to
Then
beat him.
yeah, and then like 20 minutes, because okay, I can divulge in this lore. I was there. So Stingers and Swedish Delight are playing, and at this time Swedish Delight is a top 15, top 20 player. He's
Yeah, this
far
was when he
better
was
than
really
Stingers.
good.
He's far better than Stingers on paper and in almost every metric. But because it's a one-day regional and the crowd is going apeshit, you know, Stingers had a chance. Stingers takes the game and is like, and it's even like 2 stocks to 2 on Final Destination. Then the power cuts in the whole venue. Thunderstorm power cuts the whole venue. 20 minutes later, everything comes back up, and then Stingers gets washed. And I was like, no, dude.
That's
This is
fucking
just a
tough,
fucking
dude.
tragedy, bro. That shit was tough. And it was like the most winnable thing I've ever seen, and then the power went off. It was bad.
That was a crazy tournament because also PPMD and Laws are teamed, I think, at that tournament.
It's a whole lot of insane shit that people are never gonna see again that happened at that tournament, bro.
That was fun. BMR too.
I hope one day I can maybe I won't be BMR, but I could host a tournament that size, even if it's just like 92, 96 people, because that would just be so big for the scene to have a good venue and be crowd funded, and yeah, that might be my last tournament ever, because that'll take the fucking hair and testosterone out of my body, bro, to run a tournament like that. But I mean, I would do it if not for once.
All right. Well, we're about to time here. I think maybe there might be a couple questions that we didn't go over. Is there anything else you want to ask, Gary?
Let me look, and then I'll give.
Yeah, take a peek. Take a peek. Anything else you want to answer that you saw in here specifically, David?
No, I'm pretty content. I think David's answer. I do have one question. What's your favorite like super major that you've watched in like of all time? It's a hard question, I know, but
yeah, just because also I don't really watch too many super majors. Like other than like afterwards, I'll watch sets of people who like I want to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I would say just any summit. I like watching summits. There wasn't like a specific. Yeah, there's so many like.
There's a lot of good ones.
I didn't have like
a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have like a very specific tournament. I think
the Zane Mango Summit Grand Finals, that set is a classic. That might be the greatest set of Melee ever played. That's definitely up there.
Yeah, Mango won that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mango won it from losers too.
Yeah.
Man, that was crazy.
Yeah,
I will ask, David, do you have any plans to go to any majors or super majors in the future?
Yes. Now that I have, because that was my initial. I think one of these was milestones. So I did have milestones. Like, first was to be on the PR in Wilmington. Then it was to be the best in Wilmington. Then it was to be on the PR in North Carolina. And then it was to be the best in North Carolina. And I don't think I'm the best, but I think I can beat every active player in North Carolina right now. So now I think it's time to
move up a little bit.
Yeah.
Go out into the world.
Yeah. So especially since I'll actually be working more consistently, I do plan on going to, I guess, SmashCon, DreamHacks, whichever CEO, whichever ones are on the East Coast, I guess.
Hell yeah. That'll be really nice to see an NC representative get to cheer on.
Yeah, I think Zaza is going to DreamHack. Could be wrong, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I heard some whispers about pretty good North Carolina people going to DreamHack, so I hope to see people there. That's at DreamHack Atlanta too, by the way, for anyone who's interested.
We'll definitely have to have some cheering going on
in the chat.
Yeah, in the chat, in the watch parties, whatever, in the dog park. That's where it'll be, in the dog park.
Yeah. There's definitely some shit popping in the dog park at all times in Boone Melee, bro. There's always some shit up there, bro. But you want to call it there, Bubsy? That's
Yeah. David, do you have any other shout outs you want to make before we close this down for the night?
No. Definitely shout outs to Boone Melee because they've been going to all our Wilmington tournaments. I think Nick and them have been going to those. I've been watching them, so it's just good to have like
good. Yeah.
the commingling between those communities. So shout out to everyone there.
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
Wilmington. I said to y'all too. Wilmington is invited back to the next Whispy Woods. Don't
Let's go.
worry, you can show up. Like we won't kick you out. You're honorary troutman for like a couple days, bro. As long as you're in my city, you're honorary. Y'all are cool. You can come back.
All right. Well, everybody in the chat, the viewers, thank you guys for watching. Again, I'll say real quick, follow the channel, follow YouTube, blah blah blah, like and subscribe and blah blah blah.
Yeah, makes Bubs happy.
Friday, the 4th, 2 days from now, we're having our Ori's Corner Clash, little training type tournament in Boone. If you're coming from out of town, we'll be happy to have you. If you're in Boone, you should come through. Should be a very fun time. They have fiber optic internet, which is
Yeah, that's
crazy.
fire.
I have not
That's
heard of
fire.
anyone in Boone having fiber optic, but apparently
Oh
Ori's
my
has
God.
it. Yeah, Bibber 7 is, when is that? The 19th, I think?
It's November 19th.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be gearing up for that here pretty soon. And other than that, thanks for watching and have a good night.
Yep.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
y'all.